What's holding you back is you think you know it all. You think you have all the answers. Well, if that was the case, then you'd be exactly where you want to be right now. You'd be thriving. You'd be financially free. You'd be in the best shape you've ever been in. You'd have an abundant life, a beautiful, wholesome, loving family around you. You'd have all the time in the world to spend it with them. If you had all the answers and you knew it all, you would be so happy, so content. But you're not. You're not content, are you? So maybe you don't know everything, and that's fine. I don't know everything. Some of the most intelligent people in the world don't know everything. But what some of the most successful people in the world do have is the mindset of someone who's always a student, the mindset of someone who always wants to learn, who doesn't have an ego, who is always trying to better themselves and improve and learn from their mistakes, learn from other people's mistakes. And that type of person, that type of growth mindset is what will ultimately determine how successful you are in life. You know, so many people go through school, they go through university, and then they stop learning. You know, they develop these fixed mindsets that keep them in a box and stops them from learning new skills, stops them from going on a journey of self-development, stops them from reading new books and opening their mind to different ways of life, of studying the wealthy. You know, people with growth mindsets do this, but people with fixed mindsets tend to follow what everyone else does, follow what their parents do, and work a 9 to 5 for 40-50 years and try and buy a house, try and pay the house off by 60, and try and retire in your 60s and live the final 15-20 years of your life, if you're lucky, as a retired person. And that's the little chunk of life you get to really feel free and really enjoy life, you know, according to the system and the status quo and what our parents teach us, right? So to break free from that and to become a wealthy person who can retire within the next 5 years, for example, which everyone can do if they have a growth mindset, if they have the attitude of a wealthy person, a successful person, which is someone who wants to learn all the time, someone who doesn't think they have all the answers, someone who's willing to listen, take information in, be around people that are ahead of them, soak up what they're doing and learn from them, right? So don't be ignorant. You know, I've had stages in my life many years ago when I was a younger man where I was ignorant and I thought I knew everything. I didn't know anything, you know. Now in my 30s, I realise I didn't know anything. So if you're watching this and you think you know everything, you really don't. And the way you get on in life is by learning and being willing to go out there and find the information that you need to get to the next level. It's not going to be taught to you in school. It's not going to be taught to you in university. Your mum and dad isn't going to teach these things to you. You need to go out there and find this information yourself. You need to learn about financial literacy. You need to learn about assets. You need to learn about passive income. You need to learn about living below your means. You know, the wealthiest people in the world, they don't even drive fancy cars and spend their money on nonsense, you know. They reinvest in either their own development, or they invest in their businesses, they invest in assets, and they grow their wealth. Wealth being their time, their net worth. These are things that wealthy people are obsessed with. They're not obsessed with who's got the latest Mercedes or who's got the nice Rolex. They don't care about that stuff. They operate at a higher frequency to that. So if you want to be wealthy, then you need to copy what wealthy people do, and you need to operate at their frequency. And to do that, you have to have a growth mindset. You have to be willing to learn always, and you have to understand that you don't know it all, and that's fine. As I said, I don't know it all. Many people a lot more successful than me do not know it all, but they have the attitude of a student always, and into their 30s, 40s, 50s, even 60s, 70s, they're still learning. They're still willing to learn from people ahead of them, and that's a testament to their character. So develop that type of mindset, develop that type of character, and there's no way you can lose. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Growth mindset for the win, fixed mindset for the loss. Don't be ignorant. There's always someone more intelligent than you. There's always something you can learn. Try and look for the lessons. Don't get stuck in your ways. Don't settle for a mediocre life. There's a lot more out there. You can build the life you want. You just have to have the correct attitude to be able to receive the information. You have to go out there and get the knowledge that you require to learn the skills that will allow you to create the abundant life that you desire. So if you want me to help you start or scale your rent-to-rent business, I'll put a link in the video description below. Click the link, book a call. On that call, we'll have a chat, see if we're a good fit for each other, and if we'd be good to work together. If not, that's fine too. Keep watching the content, keep learning, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.